Alright, hey guys, it's Jafor, and this video is kind of a week late. I made a poll a week ago on uh, choosing a character on a tutorial for Blender, and Pit is the winner. So either way, basically this is a beginner's course slash crash course for all the Smash designers on how to get their characters into Blender and start working with them. So we're going to do this with Pit. I'm also going to show all the links that you need, like where to get the models, the programs that you need, and all that jazz. And also, I want to probably include some little things that you might run into while working on it. Just little bumps in the road that you might run into that I'll show you how to fix them. So yeah, first we'll start with the programs. So first, what you're gonna, well, not the programs, but stuff you need. I'm gonna include everything in the description for you. So the first thing is the Mega Drive. This is going to have all the characters in a 7-zip file. So you can just download any of these, depending on the character that you need. And this, I actually downloaded the entire thing, so I just have it ready to go. But you can download it per character or download all of it. But there's some weird stuff with Mega Drive. It's probably going to harass you for money or something. I don't know how I did it. I couldn't really tell you. Either way, you're going to download whatever 7-zip of whatever character you want. So in this case, it will be Pit. I already have him ready. You're going to need 7-zip because you need to extract the file. You're going to need Blender, blender.org. This method works with all the versions, I think, or any version past 2.8. Blender right now is on 3.1. I haven't tested this method on this version, but it does work on 3.0, which we'll be doing the tutorial on. We're gonna need a plugin to import the character models for from their original format just straight into Blender. There were old methods where you had to change the numDLB format into a FBX file format before you imported it, but you don't even need to do that anymore. You can just use this plugin. It'll automatically import it in its original file format. You're going to need to install the add-on. I'll also include Papo's video on how to install the add-on, so it'll be right there with it. And I think the very last thing that we need is this program called Smash Toolbox. This is going to automatically convert all the texture files from their original format, the .eXp format, over to PNG files so that we can work with it. And that's all for the things that we need. So we can get started here. So after you get the add-on installed and Smash Toolbox installed, you can go ahead and open up Blender. I was working on Roy with something, but we don't need him. Let's open a new Blender file. I don't want to save it. All right, let's clear everything out. And we're good to go. So first things first, we need to convert Pit's model over to, or extract Pit's model out of the 7-zip file. So we go to Pit, he's number 28. I'm on Windows 11, so I have to press show more options, but this is how it's going to look for you. You just go to 7-zip and then extract to 28-Pit. So it's going to put it in a folder for you so it stays organized. And we're also going to export the animation. It's the exact same process. 7-zip, extract to animations, whatever. Also, I like to organize my files. So I have a model folder and an animation folder. So I'm just going to move Pit into his model folder and his animations into the animation folder. The reason I do this is because you can bookmark folders in Blender. So when we come in here to actually import him, so you go to import numDLB, you can actually bookmark it right here, which I already have, so it makes it really easy. So all I had to do is go into model and then go to Pit right here, fighter, Pit, model, body, COO. That's his default costume, and each folder has a separate folder for each separate one, and each one has a separate model file. So you need to be aware of that. So if you want a specific costume, you're gonna actually have to export the, or convert the texture files in each of these folders before you go into Blender to import the model in that folder. It's weird, but like basically the exact same process. So I'm going to import Pit here from the COO folder. It's the exact same for every other one. You just need to make sure you convert the textures beforehand, which once I do this, by the way, he's going to turn out purple. And this is because you did not convert the textures. I, I get a lot of questions sometimes where it's like, why is it purple? It's like, because you didn't export the texture. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that right now. So I'm going to do Control Z to get him out of here. And let's open up Smash Toolbox. Toolbox. There it is. Toolbox.exe. And there it is. Okay, so to convert all the texture files that you need to go into Tools, Batch Export Textures, and then you're going to want to look for his model. Let me go to my Alt folder. Alt, Model, and Pit. The texture files are going to be in the same folder as the model folder, COO. And they are nut.exp files. So what I like to do is find the very first one, nut.exp right here, then press type. This is going to organize everything by the file type, so they're all next to each other. So you do shift click, you'll select everything. Then you press open. It's going to ask you where you want to export them to, and it's going to automatically select the folder that they were already in, so make sure you do that. The skin textures need to be in the same folder as the model file for this to work. So now that we have all the textures exported, now we can go back into Blender and go into import numDLB and select his model. You also want to make sure you turn on normal maps, PRM maps, and emissive maps. Not all characters have emissive maps, so you might not even, it probably won't even export anything into Blender, or import rather, but it just depends. If you want the emissive maps to be there or not, you can choose this off or on. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to click all of them anyway. So let's import numDLB, and Pit is going to show up, and there he is. So now we got some nightmare feel here. He looks like a robot, metallic skin. I'm going to show you how to fix all of that. So first things first, let's get rid of the metallic skin. Let me show you how that works in the node setup. The good thing about this importer add-on is that it's going to import everything it's going to import all the nodes as well for you, so you don't have to do anything. So it makes your life really easy. But I'm going to separate everything so that it's easier to read. Basically just copy what I do. So this is, well, let me finish. All right, okay. So here's his PRM map. This is his color map, and then this is his normal map. And I set up all the nodes so that it's easier to read. You kind of see how the path looks. And let me put it all on screen. So this is usually how you want to set it up, or how you want to move it in case you need to start working with it. But in our case, all we need to do is actually just press, go to the PRM map, go into color space, and change it from sRGB to non-color. And that will fix most of our problems right off the bat. If I have everything selected right. I probably need to select the skin first. Okay. Yeah. First select the skin, and then we need to separate this stuff out. For some reason, the importer automatically imports the PRM map as a sRGB, so that's like the only thing you need to fix. There we go. Change it to non-color, and there we go. He looks less metallic now. He still looks a little metallic, but I think if we go into like rendered mode, it doesn't look as bad anymore. And I think once we set up some lighting and cameras and set up the scene and everything, it'll be completely fine. But in our case, we probably don't need to do anything. But if it still looks too metallic, all you need to do is disconnect the metallic node from the principal BDSF shader, and that'll make them look even less metallic. So it's a case by case basis. Looks like Pit was gonna stay looking really metallic anyway, so I'm just going to take it off for now. Um, it's also important that you change those PRM maps to non-color, because sometimes if we go into cycles and we go into rendered mode stuff, like his sword and like the golden parts of his costume are these black spots. So to non-color, uh, let's see, this is the PRM map. Changing it to non-color actually fixes that problem. So that's fine again. And keep in mind, you can also do it here. There we go. Oh, like he does have some maps, by the way, which is cool. Right. Anyway, that's one thing you might run into when you're importing models, and if you want to do cycles, you're gonna see that show up. All right. The next thing that I want to show you is how to fix up the model so that it looks a lot smoother. So like you can see on his legs right here, it's like really blocky. On his arms, it's really blocky right here too. So I'm gonna show you how to fix that. One thing that you're probably going to be doing a lot is actually importing the animations. When you import the animations, it's actually going to get rid of a lot of the faces that it doesn't need. So the add-on for the animations actually does a lot of work for you, because it's going to automatically hide the faces that are not being used and show the faces that are being used in the animation, and it'll automatically swap between the faces. Like if his mouth is moving, it'll change each mesh for each part of the animation. So it's really important that you use it. Makes your life a lot easier. Because if you don't, otherwise you're just gonna have to like dig through each face until you find the one that you want, and then like you delete all of them, and then it's just too much work. So, and either way, you probably want some good poses for your designs and stuff. So to import an animation, first thing you need to do actually is to select one of these black dots. Those that's his like skeleton for the animations. So make sure you select that first. Then you go into File, Import Nuan MB, and then you go into your animation folder. If you have it set up like me, you go into Pit, Fighter, Pit, Motion. Make sure you go into Motion, Body, COO, and now you have all the animations right here. The naming system is pretty. You'll get used to it over time, and it's actually pretty helpful. So like if you're trying to find a special move, literally all you have to do is search up special in the search bar, and now everything that shows here is going to be your special moves. And then if you want to be like side B, you put S for side. But if you want it to be the one where he's in the air and doing side B, then you do air S. That's sort of how it works. Air comes before the move. If you want to do one of his attacks, attack. I'm not entirely sure like which ones are the smash attacks or not. So that's you might have to like click through all of these. But I'm pretty sure actually attack S, 3S, that might be side smash attack. Because this is high 3, so this might be his up smash, down smash. It gets a little confusing because these are also his tilt attacks. So you kind of do have to dig through it. But for now, I think what I'm going to do is actually just use his up B. So we're going to search up special high. So the naming method for the up and down moves are high and low. And for the forward and back moves, it's F and B. F and B are special, like they're only exclusive to the special moves, it seems like. So forward special and then back special, unless it's just special to Pit. I'm not sure, but either way, we're going to use special high for his up B. It's a bit confusing, but you sort of figure it out. So I'm going to use this move for this tutorial, since it gets rid of a lot of the stuff. All right, so we have the animation in, and as you can see, if I hide all the skeletons, so it's easier to see, all the faces are gone except the ones that he needs. So this makes your life a lot easier. Um, so now the only thing we need to do is kind of just fix up the model. So you can see here that there are a lot of seams on his face, and we want to get rid of this. So the best way to do this is to select all the faces. So basically shift click every part. So there's going to be the area behind his eyes, and then this is going to be like the rest of his body, including his arms and legs. And we need to select the mouth mesh right here. So now all his skin is sort of selected here. So what I do here is Control J to join them up all together. The meshes are still going to be here, but to fix this, you press Tab to go into edit mode. And so now we're going to edit the mesh to fix it. So here are the key buttons that you need. Press A to select all the vertices. And then we're going to change the triangle mesh down to a quad mesh. This way the subdivision surface modifier we add later is going to work better. Subsurface modifier doesn't like to work with tris a lot, so changing it to quads is what's going to help. So the keyboard shortcut for tris to quads is Alt J. So you just press that. And then one more step that you need to do is to merge the vertices, because even when we do tris to quads, the mesh is still going to have seams. So to fix that, you just do M and then B. And so now the seams are gone. His nose is a bit blocky, but that's not the seams anymore. The seams are gone. So that's, technically speaking, you're done. But we want to make the model a bit smoother. So the last thing we want to add is a subsurf modifier. And now Pit is a lot smoother. And you also want to right click and make sure shade smooth is on. So that way it works. And so now if you look, all the parts of his skin are a lot smoother. There are some other areas we do need to fix. So in some cases, you are going to want to do that same method on the outfit. But what I found with Pit is that his tunic sort of acts like a cape in that it's like the mesh is like right next to each other. So like, let me show you. If I go into tab, select everything, do Alt J to convert tris to quads, and then merge by distance, some of his tunic is just going to get deleted. So actually in this case, you don't want to merge by distance at all. So you just want to revert that last step. We will convert tris to quads, but that's where we stop. We're going to add a subsurf modifier here, and then that's where we call it. If we go farther than that, it's going to cause problemos. But the problem with this method is that it starts getting disconnected from the mesh. So a small fix that I found is trying to keep corners. So if you open up the advanced settings, I think this should fix it. But only kind of. There's still some parts that are disconnected. Let me see if I do the same method on this. On the accessories, Alt J. I'm going to merge by distance for this one, because yeah, merge by distance will be fine. And then if we add the subsurf, there we go. It's reconnected again. Except some parts are going through him. So I don't know. Some cases you might find that you might not want to mess with the model at all. Which might be the case with Pit. Because now some of like his armbands are going through him. And we don't want that. I think there may be a fix if we just separate these meshes separately. Like, but I don't exactly know how to do it. But you might want to separate this bracelet from the rest of the mesh, because these are all grouped together. You might want to separate these two. Maybe that will fix it. But for now, I'm actually just going to revert all the changes back. And revert the tunic back as well. Because honestly, the tunic is not that bad. The tunic on its own is really high quality, and we'll probably want to leave it alone. There's any other places that we want to fix? I think the model is sort of fine. We're probably going to leave it the way it is. But basically, that's the gist of it. What I'm gonna do is actually get another model that might be a little easier to work with. Um, Actually, no, because I think I already taught everything. Let's get Kazuya. Kazuya is actually a lot more easier to work with and easier to visualize. So I'm gonna get Kazuya in here. We're gonna make a new file. And let's get Kazuya in here. Model. Kazuya. Fighter, demon, body. Make sure we select all these. All right. I'm going to do the exact same method with Kazuya instead because it's easier to visualize and he has a lot less of those quirks going on, especially like with the capes and stuff. Um, so let's get an animation here so we can clear out most of the faces we don't need. Import animation Kazuya Mishiwa. Motion, body, and let's use one of his taunt moves. The taunts are called appeal. So let's just pick the first one. And it's going to automatically get rid of a lot of the faces that we don't need. And so he is a bit blocky in some places. So we're going to try to fix that. So we're going to select his mesh. We want to select, again, the separate pieces. So right now I have his body selected. We need to get the area around his eyes selected and then his mouth selected. So that's everything. I think we also need to include this. Hold on. Yeah, there's a special piece on Kazuya for his third eye. We want to select that also. There we go. Control J to join them up. And then we go into tab to go into edit mode. Press A to select everything. Alt J to convert tries to quads. Then M and then B to merge by distance. And then a subsurface modifier. So now Kazuya is a lot more smoother. There is a small quirk with his elbow right here. It's like caving in. There is a way to fix this. Not sure if this is the fix or I might have to do it manually, but either way, select the armature or the skeleton. And we want to go into pose mode. So go here and do pose mode, object, and then pose mode. You can also use the shortcut control tab. And we want to select the bone that is. So there's two elbow bones right here. One is going to move the whole arm. This one moves the whole arm. So it works like an actual elbow. But the other bone that's on the elbow actually acts like, I don't know what the exact term is, but like it adjusts the mesh around there. So that is kind of the culprit of what's causing it to cave in. I'm going to try. Hold on, go back. I'm going to try pressing Alt and R, see if that fixes it. Yeah, that pretty much fixes it. So basically, Alt R is going to like reset to the original rotation animation for it instead of it being like the caved in one. But that's actually a really temporary fix because if we resume the animation, it's going to cave in again. And we don't want that. So basically, all you want to do is actually hover over the timeline and then press X, and it's going to delete all the keyframes for that elbow skeleton thing. So now it doesn't cave in anymore when it keeps moving. Or is it? Oh, no, it's still caved in. Hold on. Press Alt R and then delete keyframes. And now it's working. It's not caving in anymore. This sort of thing is also happening with his shoulder, I think. Oh no, his shoulder's fine. I thought I saw something wrong with his shoulder a second ago. Yeah, his shoulder's fine, I think. Either way, speaking of shoulders, there is something similar that happens with Roy that I also want to show. So let's make a new file. And let's get Roy in here. Roy, C double O. All right. So we have Roy in here. And let's put an animation on him. Nuan MB, animation. And why is it in reverse? Okay, 25 is Roy. Body, C double O. Let's do his taunt animations. Let's use this one. All right. So right off the bat, what you'll see is that the shoulder pads aren't working. So it's going to be a similar case with like Kazuya's elbow there. So what we need to do is actually go into the shoulder bone, which is right here. This shoulder bone probably moves the whole arm. Yeah, it does. So we need the other one that's there. And all you want to do, like last time, is do Alt R, and that'll fix it. And then once again, that is a temporary fix. You need to go into the timeline, hover over it, press X, and then delete keyframes. So now the whole animation, his elbow, will be correct. But that is a fix for like rotation issues with the skeleton. There are positional issues. Let me first talk about. So the reason why Alt R works is because R is the keybind for rotate everything having to do with rotation. So right now, if I press R, I can rotate Roy. But sometimes there are like positional issues with models. You'll see that in some characters like Sora and Mithra and Pyra, where when they get imported in and get an animation put on them, the hair will just be all over the place, or like some parts of their costume won't be correctly positioned. So in some cases like that, Alt G will fix the problem for you, because G is what you press when you want to move the position of your model. So I actually want to show that as well. So let's make a new file and we'll get Sora in here. Model, Sora should be all the way at the bottom. In this case, the top for some reason. Body, C double O. Let's import Sora in. This might take a while. He's really high poly. He's really high poly. Yeah, there it is. Thank you, Tetsuya Nomura. Anyway, so let's get an animation on him. Because actually, right now, everything is fine, but actually, everything goes to hell once you put an animation on him, which you're probably going to be doing. So we go into animation, Sora, fighter, trail, motion, body, C double O. Ooh, you know what? I should also show you. He actually has 4 separate folders for his costumes, because I guess each of his costumes has special animations on them. So you want to be aware of that. But in this case, we need the C double O one. Let's get one of his taunts. Let's use this one. All right. So instantly, right off the bat, you see what's happening. His hair's fucked up. But there obviously is a really easy fix. But in this case, we're not going to do Alt R because that won't fix anything. In this case, it's a positional issue and it's just all the bones are in the wrong place. So we want to do Alt G, which is going to fix the position of all his hair bones. And obviously, you want to go into the timeline, press X, and delete the keyframes. So now, all for the entire animation of his taunt, his hair is going to be fixed. But there's actually a couple more issues with Sora's model that I want to point out. Is that his chain is wrong, or it's not positioned correctly, so it's the exact same fix here. You want to find the cluster for his necklace, which is right here. Select all of them, just press Alt G, and again, X and delete keyframes. So now his chain is fixed. And another thing that's messed up is his vest and hoodie. His hoodie is all the way down here. So In this case, you want to select right here and do Alt G. That'll fix his hoodie. Delete the keyframes. And then also for his vest. This is something that happens a lot with characters that have vests on. Is that it'll just get crunched up. This also happens with Terry. Um, I can't think of anyone else. Anyone that has a cape, actually. Well, not a cape, but like long clothes, like a long jacket or vest or anything like that. So like on Kazuya's alt, where he's wearing the tuxedo, this also happens. But you basically just want to go around the model and find these clusters that say vest. You can figure out that it's the vest by this naming structure right here. And you just want to do Alt G on the cluster and it'll fix itself out. So you can go all the way around and just do this. There's another cluster right here, another cluster right here, Alt G, another cluster right here, Alt G, and another cluster right here, Alt G, and the last cluster right here, Alt G. So now his vest is fixed. I'm not going to play the animation because it's going to get broken, but I need to make sure I do delete the keyframes for each of those bones. And yeah, that's all there is to it. I think I covered pretty much everything here. How to get the models in, how to do the subsurf modifiers to smooth out the models, and how to fix any animation quirks. And I think that's everything. Um, if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to me on my Twitter, which is J498 with an underscore at the end. You can also reach me on Discord if you have it. I'll probably put on screen for you. And then another place that I recommend you join is the 3D Designers Discord, where there's a lot of people that are willing to help. They help me a lot with a lot of really specific stuff. So you want to join this server as well. I'll put it in the description. I have a lot of good friends in here, JD and Income Tax and Papo, and everyone's here. All the goated 3D designers are in here, so you can get help from the greats, even though they're too busy, because they're too famous. I'm just kidding. They will help. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for like the crash course for you guys on how to get stuff set up and how to get cooler renders than in-game renders. So yeah, thank you for watching. Let me know if you need help with anything else. I can do specific videos on anything that comes up when you guys ask me. If I think it's worth enough to be a video, I can make a video on it. But either way, see you next time, I guess.